Welcome back again, and I do apologise profusely for previous. Hopefully you can hear me and you can see me a little bit better this time. I hope it works. Do come and let me know. Am I in sync? Am I freezing? I've done all I can on this side. Hello Debbie in Ontario, first live. Oh, it's not a great one to come along to. We're half an hour late. Anyway, let me know. Good. Oh, thanks, Denise. Is it good? Oh, no idea what I've done. I've reset everything. So hopefully, thanks, Lisa. How strange. Anyway, we're back again. So sorry about that. Sorry about the hold up, and hopefully you'll stay with me. Good, lovely. Oh, good. Right. So we're going to make a bag. So if you're a little bit frustrated last time and didn't get to see what we were making, let me show you. It's this one. We've got the bag handles back in stock on the website, but I just thought I'd show you how to make this. Now, if you wanted to make this without buying the bag handles, because, you know, I don't want to say, oh, you can't make this without the handles. You could make them with wooden doweling. I was just thinking about that. So if you put the wooden doweling through here and then maybe a fabric handle over the dowel, or just hold the doweling actually on its own would make a substantial handle anyway. And it's quite a nice size of bag, as you can see. Now I haven't put any pockets or anything on the inside. That's entirely up to you. If you wanted to do that, then you can do. Oh, I know, Mary, I always think I'm quite good with tech. You know, I set all this lot up and broadcasting in 3 different platforms and set my own website up and all that kind of thing, but when something goes wrong, anyway, we're fine. So let's start again. So with the bag that I made here, obviously I've used 2 coordinating fabrics. The bottom fabric I've used cork. This particular cork is out of stock on the website, but we do have lots of others and it all works in practically the same way. So if you're going to make a bag with 2 coordinating fabrics like this one, then you'll need to sew this together first. So let me just measure what you'd need to do. So my base fabric would be, I mean, cut this bigger than you need it to be as well. So I'd say 7 inches deep by maybe 18 inches wide for the bottom and 6 inches deep for the top, and just sew those 2 pieces together first. When you've got your pieces and they're sewn together, so I'm not going to do it on this one, I'm just going to use my tiger fabric. You're going to cut a rectangle of fabric that measures 17 inches across and 11 inches down. And you'll need 2 pieces for the outside of the bag and 2 pieces for the lining. Hi Anne in Canada, nice to hear from you. Cork tiles from B&Q, if you can get them under your sewing machine, Lisa, that would be amazing. On the back of this I've used Decaville Light. On this bag I've used H640, which is a fusible fleece. The reason I haven't, they use the H640 and not the Decaville is that you can't iron, or it's not recommended that you iron your cork from the top. It's not porous, cork is waterproof, so steam won't go through it. So I put the H640 onto the wrong side and blasted it with steam. The steam will go through it from the back. If I was to use Decaville on cork, steam doesn't go through either of them because Decaville isn't porous, cork isn't porous, it isn't going to stick. But you could glue it if you preferred, but I'm just going to use a Decaville on this one. It is a Decaville Light, not the very heavy one, so I'll have a nice crisp shape to the bag, but it's not going to be really, really thick and heavy. So when you cut out your rectangles, you're then going to trim 1 inch from the side. So go from the top corner here, measure 1 inch across the bottom, and then trim across this way. So it gives your bag a little bit of shape. We are going to box the bag anyway, but this gives it an extra little bit of shape.
Coffee?
I'd love a coffee, yes please.
Anybody else?
Thank you very much. Stop asking them, because they all want one. You're going to get lots of orders now, you know.
I'm ready.
Oh, I've missed lots of you on Facebook. Do apologise. Oh, thanks, Chrissy. Oh, Oh, hi, Christy. I was wondering if you were going to be there today. Oh, she's feeding visiting raccoons. Oh, can you? Oh, we can't put pictures. Did you Facebook, Christy? I'd love to see pictures of you feeding visiting raccoons. How big are they? But are they like cat size, aren't they? Amazing. Oh, Alan's been busy making tote bags. Oh, I'm glad you've all stuck with me. Thank you very much. Oh, Angela, you noticed I recut the tigers as well. Yes, I did. I can't have my fabric upside down. Anyway, so that's the outside fabric, and I've cut 2 pieces of lining fabric the same. So again, 17 inches, 11 inches, and an inch from the bottom. Hi, Maureen in Ontario. And I've recut these as well. So we've got 4 4-inch squares, and these are going to make the tabs that go across the top to hold the handle in place. So let's make those up first of all. So while I've got the iron on, I'm just going to press this. Look, the orange look nice with that green as well. I'm just going to press this because I don't like working with creasy fabric. There we go. So these are going to be folded like a little piece of bias binding. So to the centre, and then fold in half. So I've got 1-inch strips. Debbie, you don't need a special needle when you're sewing with cork. The only thing I would suggest is maybe a denim needle if you have any, because they tend to be stronger. If you're sewing through a lot of layers of any kind of fabric, then it's going to be quite bulky, so a denim needle can make the stitching quite easier. Don't use a leather needle on cork. I have heard that recommended before now, and please don't. The cork doesn't behave like leather. Leather is a skin. So a leather needle will have an angled shape to the point of it, a little bit like a chisel, and it makes a split in the leather, and it helps to stop friction as the thread goes through. But because leather is a skin, it will heal over, so the split will heal. Cork won't heal, so if you use a leather needle, you're going to have big holes in it, and it's not going to close over. So just a universal needle, maybe one of the thicker universal needles would be ideal, or a denim needle. But you don't need anything very special really at all. And you can sew from the top. Core catch, I've got a piece here of the red floral. Cork is the most wonderful fabric. It's soft, it's pliable, it is waterproof, so it makes an ideal base for a bag because you can wipe it clean. It's got a fabric backing on it, so you can iron from this side as well. You can use quite a hot iron, because wherever you buy this from, it's going to be creased up when you get it home. So yeah, it's really easy to iron and get the creases out of that. It doesn't fray, so if you wanted to use this for a plique, that's absolutely fine. You don't need to hem it, you don't have to worry about fraying, so you don't have to finish off the seams at all. And it's one of the most sustainable fabrics as well. The cork tree, and I've said this before, so sorry if I'm boring you, it's really ugly. It's got like big growths all over it of cork, and it benefits from having the cork removed. So I think it takes something like 9 months for the cork to grow enough, but then it can be stripped of its bark, and then it regrows it, and stripped and regrows it. And I think that goes on for about 10 years. So there's an awful lot of cork you can get out of a tree. But again, it's not damaging the tree or hurting the tree. It actually enjoys having the cork taken off. I was thinking it's a little bit like an old English sheepdog having a haircut in the summer. I'm just sewing down each side of these little tabs, just to make it look neat. Cork for a laptop. Yes, Sarah, that would be really good. And I think very on trend as well. If your daughter's into anything eco-friendly, then you can say cork is one of those sustainable fabrics. It doesn't need pesticides, it grows like weed. There would of course be a little bit of carbon footprint, but certainly more eco-friendly than a lot of fabrics like cotton would be. going to try and get the video. All I have is a pic. Oh, that would be great. Love to see that, Christy. It's incredibly strong. And it doesn't, I did try, very strong indeed, but not thick. Unless, like Lisa, you go to B&Q and buy cork tiles. I bet they're very thick. Oh, Jen's joined the Half Yard Club. Congratulations, welcome along. Never had so much in a club before. Thank you. No, thank you. Enjoy it. And do post your pictures on the Half Yard Club website, won't you? A new fancy website where you can do that now. Right, so I've got 4 tabs there. Okay, so I'm going to have my coffee before it goes cold. Pink corslet, isn't it? It's got tiny little leaves all over it and a little bit of glitter. A slim waist bag for underclothes. That's a good idea, Angela. A slim waist bag. Right. So with this bag, when you put your handle at the top, you will have 2 inches each side of the handle. So you can centre that if you like, just make sure that you've got the same distance each side. And these little tabs are going to go around the ends of the handles here to hold the handle in place. I am going to put a little bit of glue behind that as well, because I don't want the handle to slip out. So let's just snip these loose ends off. Most of these are going to go into another seam anyhow, so not too worried. Okay. So these are going to go facing downwards underneath where the handle is there. So we'll hold it in place with a clip for now. That's that one. And there we go. And we do this on both sides and make sure that they're all in exactly the same place. Just clip that on there. You can pin through Decaville, but it is a bit thick. It's got a loose thread there. And the same on the opposite side. So again, facing down. And clip in there. Do you know what? Angela's saying she needs a slim waist for a slim waist bag. I don't know where my waist has gone, but I'm offering a reward for it if anybody's seen it. Binge watching has been a Debbie Baker binge watching, right? Looking for a pattern to make a roll, a makeup roll with a zip section to hold small bits. I have one of those in a book called, I think it was Sewing Room Accessories. There's a picture on the front cover of it. It's one of the little Love to Sew series books. I'm sure it was Sewing Room Accessories. So it's got like a zipped compartment, and then you wrap the roll over and tie it up, one of those. Right, so I'm just going to sew this in place across the top. It's actually a very quick bag. I will still do photographic step-by-steps for you as well, and put those on the blog on my website, just in case you don't want to sit through the whole video and the chat and all the like. Right. So that's just within the seam allowance, just to hold those little tabs in place. I love this tiger fabric as well. I think it's a little bit oriental. So we've got that. Now we're going to sew these 2 pieces together, right sides together like so. And again, if you want to put a few clips in there to hold it, may help. Someone's half-inched our waist, said Susan. They've more than half-inched it. They've about 10-inched it. Right, and we'll just sew all the way around. And again, needle wise, I've just got a universal needle in here. The Decaville is getting quite thick now because there's 2 layers. So you may want to use your denim needle again. Worth having a few of those in stock, I think. So needle down, turn around. Donna, this is Decaville Light. It feels quite rubbery actually, but it's a fusible stabilizer, so you iron it onto your fabric and it gives your bag just a little bit of rigidity. It's not like a foam like Bosal where it's going to stand up on its own, but it does make quite a nice firm bag. The thing that I like about it is that it gives a very crisp kind of finish to your bag. So whereas I'll show you when we compare actually when I finish this one. This is H640, which is a fleece, and it's quite soft and it's quite squashy. This is going to have quite a different look because it gives a firm look, if that makes sense. It's a very different look. Right, let's box off these corners. Do we cut all the corners at 1 inch? Yes, Kristen. So outer pieces and lining 1 inch from the edge there. So when you put that on your mat, let me show you. You cut your square, so that's 17 inches all the way across, and then from 1 inch from the bottom you taper that to the top, and do that on both sides and of the lining at the same time. Oh, Christine, fancy noticing that beach hut wall hanging behind me was a little bit of free motion embroidery that I did so many years ago. I can't remember, it must be 10 years old, and Gary found it as we're sorting out rubbish in the hope of one day moving house, and I was like, oh, I could throw it away, and he said, no, actually I really like it, I'm going to put it on the wall. So yeah, it's just a free motion beach hut. So here I've squished the side so that it sits on top of the base, and you can feel that the seams are meeting. I like to push them in opposite directions, and then I'm going to measure 2 inches from the seam, so not from the end of the fabric but from the end of the seam, which is just here, and draw a line straight across. So I've got this part of my ruler matching it with the seam, so I know that that isn't a right angle triangle. Thinking back to school then for a minute, and also straight across there. Hi Ditsa. So again, just take it easy over the lumpy bit because it is quite a lump in the centre there now. Thanks, Sonia. And then we'll cut this off here. And then we'll do the same on all of the corners with the lining as well, but let's squish that together. Again, I've folded those in opposite directions. See how I folded that way? I'm going to fold it the same way, so that'll lay quite flat. So match up the seams. Morning, Cindy in Florida. What's it like over there? And then 2 inches from where the stitching finishes, and we'll sew down there. Hi Miss Hayes, welcome along. How are you doing? $4.30 in Sri Lanka. Right, let's snip this off, and that's hello to Samudu. Okay, so then let's turn this the right side out and you'll see the shape of the bag. Will you redo the video with the blue striped beach bag? Oh, I forgot all about that one, Chris. It did get cut off, didn't it? What's the blue striped beach bag? Oh, yes. I just need to sew another day in the week at the moment because I'm a bit busy, but yes, I will do that one. I wonder if I could do that this afternoon. Oh, thanks, Diane. Okay, so now because we've kept the shape of the bag initially was tapered to the bottom, and then we've squared the base off as well. This one's actually a little bit deeper than the other one. I like that. It gives the bag even more of an almost triangular shape, and I like that kind of look. I think that's a really nice shape for a bag. And you can see already with the Decaville, it's standing up on its own, but it looks really crisp is the only word that I can think to describe it. Then we're going to sew together the lining in the same way. So right sides together, all the way around apart from the top, but we're going to leave a gap in the bottom of around about 6 inches so that we can turn it the right side out. Oh, and I'm just using kind of the edge of my foot as a seam allowance, so no particular seam allowance on this one, as long as it's uniform. So if you prefer to use a 1/4 inch or a centimetre or whatever you like. Obviously the bigger your seam allowance, the smaller your bag's going to be. Oh, Glow's giving her feet a manicure. Going for a short breakfast spa with hubby. Oh, how lovely. Right, so I've left a gap in the bottom. And just sew all the way around. I'm just checking my thread. Ran out of thread last time, didn't I? And then just like with the outside of the bag, we're going to square off the corners. So just in the same way. Sorry, did you hear me slurp my coffee then? So squish the corner so that the two seams sit together, 2 inches from the end, and so it's Christy. It's like rubber. So I can show you here. It is adhesive on one side. That's obviously not stuck very well. You need a really hot iron. So the shiny side is the glue side, and it feels like, oh gosh, it's a little bit rubbery. I mean, it's firm. It's not stretchy or anything like that. It feels a little bit like very thin leather. So that's obviously not something that you use in dressmaking, is it? Yeah, a firm interface. You can get firmer actually. We've got some of that on the website as well, but I find it quite difficult to work with because it's so firm. It's like sewing cardboard. But on a larger bag, that gives a really nice look. It is like a really stiff board-like finish. Smaller bags, and any smaller than this, then I wouldn't use it personally because it's a bit tiddly. It's a bit fiddly when you're going to turn something inside out, I find. Oh, it's very cold in Gauteng, is that in South Africa? My son might be joining you next year. Is applying to do a course as a ranger in South Africa. Yeah, Christy, it's Decovil, Decoville, and it's made by Valaiseline, so you should be able to get it in the States easy enough. Oh, thank you, Bev. Welcome along. Here every Saturday morning. A little bit of a hiccup this morning with I don't know what, so we are a little bit late. So that's the lining of my bag. So then we're going to put the outside of the bag inside the inside of the bag with the right sides together. So keep the outside, the right side out. The lining's inside out, so when I put the outside inside the inside, the right sides are together, and match up the seams at the side. Hi Pat in Brunswick in Canada. That's the one, Alexis. Have you gone on Facebook? Have I gone on Facebook? Might be just you, Kim. I'm on Facebook here. Oh, please don't let's start that again. Serger for a beginner. Sue, I don't know about brands. My first serger was a Husqvarna. I was actually selling a Singer serger on a shopping channel a few years ago, and I thought this is exactly my Husqvarna machine, exactly the same. So it's obviously just a different brand name on the same machine. Go for a big brand, so the same as you would do with a sewing machine. Go for something that has support. So, you know, Brother, Singer, Husqvarna. I have an Elna, and go for a 4-thread. With a 4-thread overlocker, you can sew with 3 threads. I tend mainly to sew with 3 threads on mine, but you've got the option of sewing with 4 threads as well. You can buy 5-thread overlockers, sergers, but as a beginner, I wouldn't bother with that at all. When I bought my Husqvarna, I don't know what it's like where you are. You're obviously in the States if you're calling it a serger. I was offered a course on how to use it. So have a look at that. If you buy from a store, you may have somebody there that can show you how to thread it and that kind of thing. I'm fine on Leslie's Facebook, Kim. Oh, flies. Oh, Ellen's in Uxbridge in Canada with a very kind husband. Connie's got the oranges fabric, the plain orange combination. That would look lovely on the bag. That's a really nice idea. Yeah, we've got pre-cut Decaville on the website actually, Brenda. We've got both of them, Decaville Light and the heavyweight as well. I don't know if I'd want to put a zip in the lining, Debbie, on this one. I suppose you could. If anything, I think I'd rather just have a magnetic snap to close this one. Let me just go back down to the bottom of the message. I don't want to miss anybody. Okay, so those are together with the seams lined up, and I'm just going to sew all the way around the top. And we're almost done. So I'm just lining up the edges together. I prefer to sew from the inside. If you've got a free arm on your sewing machine, you may prefer to use that. This is just what I'm used to doing. So let me show you. So I don't know, Mary, thank you for that. I'm not sure about Pellon. I think Pellon and Valaiseline do very similar products, but I tend to just go for Valaiseline because that's what I'm used to. Connie, 1/2 metre will be fine for the bag. And we do those 1/2 metre pre-cuts, so that will be absolutely fine. So again, I tend not to pin or clip when I'm doing this. Find it easier not to, but that's entirely up to you. Just keep sewing all the way around. Almost there. Christy's got a brother serger. So I'm presuming because you were a designer and dressmaker that would you have the 5-thread sergers? Can you get more than that? I've only ever used I've got an air thread. It does make it a lot easier to thread, but it's only a 4-1. Denise needs to learn to use an overlocker. Have a look actually on YouTube, because I know certainly Elna / Janome, same company that I got my overlocker from, do have videos on threading and how to use and that kind of thing. I'm using the light Decaville in this one, Joan. Normally switch this off. Sorry about that. I've switched my torch on now as well. Anyway, let's pull this through. Yeah, 5-thread. I thought you would do, Christy. Oh, Ange. It's not clever. It's just a bit of maths, working out bags and things like that. I presume that's what you mean. Oh, Susan, I'll tell you what, once you've used your overlocker, when Kim, my daughter, started learning to sew, she's a lot more into dressmaking than I am, and working with stretch fabric and making gathers and ruffles in clothing and things like that. And she learned to sew on my sewing, I'm going back a few years now, but she learned to sew on my sewing machine at the same time as she started to use the overlocker, and she uses the overlocker for practically anything. So as a brand new sewer, she was straight onto that overlocker. It's quick, it finishes the seams really nicely. I'm just sewing the hole at the bottom of this one, and you can do great gathers with it as well. So it's more than just, Christy will confirm that, it's more than just finishing off your seams. Depending on the features of your machine, you can create some quite nice fluted effects and things like that with them. They're brilliant for stretch fabrics. Must have if you're going to sew a lot with stretch fabric. Oh, Valerie, do that. Oh, so if you buy something from John Lewis, then they should give you tuition. Oh, and Christy can make lace with her brother. I didn't know you could do that. Oh, right. So this is how we're looking. So let's pop the... Actually, that's quite nice, isn't it? I wonder if that would work. I have cut the line will be too short. If you cut the line in a little bit longer, then you've got that nice border around the top. Should have thought about that, shouldn't I? But we're not going to. We're going to fold this over so that the seam's right on the top. Do you remember last week, if you were watching, I had to have a word with my neighbours because they were being noisy building. Can you hear that? Don't know what they're doing. Right, so I'm just going to top stitch all the way around. It was nice words with the neighbours. I just asked them to be, I'd never met them before. Asked them to be quiet for an hour. And they were, it was great. Right, so again, just fold. It's ever so easy to fold the decaville, it's not fighting back. And I'm literally just sewing all the way around the top. Oh, it is easy, Ange. It's only a bit of sewing. Oh, the fabric. This is on my website. Might be sale actually. If you go to debbieshawsewing.com, do have a look at some of the sale items. We've got quite a lot of fabrics that are heavily reduced in price. Kim, my daughter, you probably know if you're a regular, runs the website. And does a jolly good job of it, have to say. She's responsible for getting all these bag handles and the fabrics and everything in, but she tries to get something a little bit different. And we're going to be stocking a lot more dressmaking fabric, which is really quite exciting. But we could do with a bigger warehouse. So if you want to go and snatch yourself some bargains and get some of that sale fabric, it would do me a big favour. Because I know we've got lots of fabric coming in. You're right, Sylvia, it's only fabric and thread. And it's only a bag. You know, if you're new to sewing, I think bag maker, you'll be hooked once you start. But it's such a good place to start with because there's no right or wrong. It doesn't have to fit. So you don't have to worry about darts and, I don't know, the shoulders being too droopy. Or it's just a bag. So if it doesn't quite turn out the way that the pattern that you're following or the video that you're following intended, then nobody's going to know. It really doesn't matter. Susan, we've got a brand new range of dressmaking fabric coming in. I haven't seen it. Kim was telling me about it. That's really exciting. We do have loads of jersey and viscose and poplins. I've got some beautiful lawn on the website as well. So have a look around. You're right, Leslie. Kim is brilliant. I don't think she's here now. She was taking Vienna to a fun fair today in London. So hopefully they're having a nice time. And the warehouse is actually in Bedford, so it's quite away from here. And we're there for another couple of years. because we've got a tenant's agreement, obviously, but by the time that couple of years is up, my plan, I don't know if this is going to work out okay, I hope so, is to have bigger premises, bigger warehouse, bigger cutting area, and hopefully open maybe one day a week so that customers can come in as well. Christy, I think we, if it's under £8, we charge £6 shipping to the USA, and the reason we put that on the website is because a lot of people wanted to order a pattern, a bag pattern. So if there's just an envelope, a large envelope will cost £6 to ship. Over that, it is quite expensive because you're going up to something like £16 for shipping, and then the next one up, depending on how much you spend, it goes up to something like £25 for shipping. I think off the top of my head, it is quite a lot of money, I'm afraid. However, Nancy, if you're watching, Nancy orders so much stuff. She's in the States, and she sews with her grandchildren, her granddaughters, and she was saying that they can't get fabrics. They can't get nice fabrics very easily, so she buys from us, and she buys a lot at a time. So yeah, I suppose, yeah, depends what you can get hold of, can't it? Do you like my plan, Anne? £1 compared to dollars. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, Christy, off the top of my head. Anybody else know? What's the exchange rate at the moment, pounds to dollars? I'm sure somebody will let us know. Right, so that's that. Then we're going to put the handles in. I'm going to bang on the wall in a minute. Can you hear that knocking next door? And they're going to sit very nicely inside there. However, it's going to come out. So I'm going to put a spot of glue just inside the handles. Thank you, Jane. It's $1.61 to £1, Christy. So I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of glue over the top of here. And pop that inside. You could use hot glue if you've got a hot glue gun. And we'll do that in all 4 pieces. So it's just like putting in a metal frame, really. There are ways that you could sew this to make it stay, but I just think this is going to be easier. So let's just make sure that those are even. And I'm just going to clip that to hold it while it dries. And then the same on this side. Lost my handle for a second. 171 says Canada, 142 says Ange, 142 says Ree. Thank you for that. I'm using my Gutermann HT2 glue, which is the only wet glue I use with fabrics. I think it's amazing. It's really strong. I mean, these handles, it would be very difficult to get this fabric off once it's dry, which is absolutely fine by me. So I'm going to just clip that. It'll dry in a very short while. I just want to make sure that the handle is nice and tight around the top as it dries. Add 8 hoops instead of 4. That's a good idea. Thing is, Alan, we could put another 2 hoops around here, but you can't thread that through on this handle because the handle is in the way. But you could make it so that it's a flap that goes over and maybe buttons onto the other side. Peru? What's Peru? Yes, we do. We do sell the glue on the website, and that should be in stock. That's normally there all the time. Yeah, Beverly, just glue. See, that's really. Let me show you. I've dropped it on the floor, so do bear with me a second. Compared to the other bag that was H640. Oh, glad I've got my roots done. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Sorry that we had to stop and start again. I know we lost a lot of people, but I hope you've come back, or you're going to be watching again anyway. So if you're watching this on a repeat or later on, thank you for coming back. Rephrase Julie, didn't see that. Flaps with buttonholes would be a nice idea. Oh, Peru. Okay, that's probably stuck enough now, so I can take the clips off. So just to show you the difference, this is H640, so the bag base was a little bit narrower on this one, but I like the fatter bag base, and it's kind of nice and squishy and soft, whereas this one with the Decaville is quite firm. It's a little bit more paper-like, if that makes sense, than squidgy and soft. But it's a nice size bag. Plenty of room on the inside as well. Nice wide opening on there, but it just kind of close almost when you put the two handles together. So that's to make a nice beach bag, maybe, when you're allowed to do it. So I'm glad. Oh, I'm just going to turn this iron off. I left one on for days the other day. Thank you, Mary. Snap fasteners would work, Alan. We were saying that earlier. Thanks, Ariana. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, so if you're new to us in this hour and you didn't see the previous one, handles are back in stock. Those are on the Debbie Shaw Sewing website. I'm going to pop off and have a play with these handles next. So I'll do that this afternoon because I need to make a bag that goes with these. And I'm kind of thinking, so these only came in this morning, so I haven't had a chance to really play with them. But I'm thinking maybe oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? A semicircular bag. I like that idea. I'll do a semicircular bag, and I will do step-by-step instructions and put those on my blog as well. Who was that with the double-sided Bosal, Sylvia? I wouldn't personally, because I'd like this ironed on the outside before I start sewing it together. And of course, if you're going to iron double-sided, you can have half of it stuck to your ironing board. So I wouldn't use double-sided Bosal myself personally. I'd use single-sided Bosal. That would work really well. I've got a very hot dog. Must get another bobcam. Kirsty was saying that she misses him. Made lots of bags, but often the lining is a bit saggy. Linings do tend to be like that. You can tend to get a bit of a sag with lining. What you could do is maybe hand sew just a few stitches across the seam, and that would hold the lining very firmly to the outside of the bag, and that would stop it sagging a little bit. You could try increasing the seam allowance of the lining, only by a tiny amount, so not even 1/8 of an inch, just a millimetre or so. So just inside the seam allowance, so that the lining's a bit smaller than the outside of the bag, and you'll tend to find that helps it to sit a little bit straighter as well. No, that's all I can think of for that one, Janet, at the moment. Diane's working on the very first bag, having trouble putting the right sides together or the wrong sides together. For the most part, when you're making a bag, it's going to be right sides together, so pattern sizes together. Christy, there is a blog on my website. There's not an awful lot on there at the moment. It's debbieshawsewing.com. And I haven't put a lot of projects and things on there because we're rebuilding the website. We're having a makeover. So hopefully within the next 2 or 3 weeks we'll have a brand new website. Then there's going to be a lot of content on there as well, which is going to be free for everybody. But these will be on the blog. I shall make sure these go on later on. Half Yard Club, Debbie. It is £5.99 a month or $9.99 a month. How far down would you measure for a snap? And for that, Debbie, just really briefly, do you want me to show you? I can show you. I can show you, if you are new to the Half Yard Club, exactly what you get. Let me move that out of the way, and do that and do this. And this is the Half Yard Club. So you will get, for your £5.99 or $9.99, there you go, look, or $9.95, sorry, that's per month. Or if you go for a whole year's membership, it's £60 or $99, which means that you get 2 months for free. And you will have, let me sign in and show you. All of these projects. So this is this month's project. There's a main project every month, and then there is a secondary project. And you've got a block of the month as well. So for the June, this is the main project. The secondary project, there's a video for this one. The secondary project doesn't have a video, but you do have all of your step-by-step instructions and downloads, and that is going to be the Wonky Street Summer cushion, and then there's another one. Actually, you've got a bonus this month with the Wonky Street beach bag as well. That's the second project from last month. This is the main project, but you get all of these. So if you join now, you have access to all of these projects. Now they're taken down after a couple of years, but we give you plenty of notice so you can download them. Apart from the block of the month, so you've actually got 3 years worth of blocks of the month. If you join today, you get all of this content. First day you join, the whole lot, everything that you see here, and there's still more and more and more. So it's quite a varied selection of different projects that you can make as well. So some of it's dressmaking, some is quilting, some is bag making, but there's lots of it. There's also an Ask a Member page. So if you do have any questions, or if you just want to pop a picture on there, then you can do. So these are all questions that people have asked, and the replies that come through as well. Need to catch up on those. Which foot when I use was stretch fabrics. Oh, Vera, that's just your regular standard foot. Actually on the projects, this is where you can post pictures. I showed you this the other day, and I loved, oh come on, we're going slow again. There's lots of tips and techniques, some with videos and some without as well. Let's have a look at Daphne the dragon and your pictures. Oh, I love these. So again, you can upload your, and a drawing of them as well. You can upload your own pictures. So this is what members have been making. I love them. I could sit for, oh, look at that. Oh, it's a bit of smile and nose, and oh, love it when you go freestyle. Oh, and I've put buttons on there as well. Loving them. Love what you do with them. So anyway, so that's the Half Yard Club. That's what you're going to get on day one. Made lots of bags, but often oh, so Janet, I've answered you already, haven't? Oh, I've missed loads. I've missed lots of you. Sorry, I'm way behind with the messages. Oh, Annette, I hope you get better soon. Lynn, actually, Lynn, if you did want to join, you can join for free for a month. You'll have to fill in all of your details because that's just the way that it works on the website. But if you, when you get to checkout, you'll have a coupon code, and if you type in the word welcome in capital letters, it'll give you a whole month for free. And it'll let you know when you're up for renewal as well. So if you don't cancel, then it'll carry on. So you put that date in your diary. Thanks, Bernadette. Thanks, Sharon. A pattern for a bag with a large zipper pocket built in the side seam on the outside of the bag. Have a look on YouTube, Heidi. I've got quite a few bags like that on YouTube. Thanks, Kaz. The girls are very, yes, they are very helpful. We've got a really nice team. They're all girls working with us at the moment, but we've got a really nice team. So yeah, they're great. Anyway, I better go, hadn't I? Because I need to. I want to get playing with these handles and see what kind. I'm thinking of big. What fabric? So I'm going to go and do this anyway. So it's been lovely having your company. Apologies again for the delay or the problems that we had with Tinternet earlier on. But thank you for sticking with me and coming back and all that kind of thing. Have a good week yourself, Lisa. So I'll see you again on Wednesday afternoon at 2 o'clock if you're around then, or next Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning, hopefully, if things go okay again. I'm glad you like me ditty, Jules. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully weather's as nice as it is here and you can spend some time outside and maybe spend some time with your families as well. But you take care of yourself and I shall see you again very soon. Bye bye.